Summer's finally here, and so too is the stress of trying to fit in every warm weather activity you dreamed about doing all winter long. Now, we're going to try to make things a little easier. Over the next 3 weeks, you'll be hearing our version of a summer entertainment guide. Now, that's recommendations for what to do in this city now that we all want to be outside. So today on CityCast Portland, we're kicking it off with our city's own event guru, Michelle Van Lee. You might have already taken some of her suggestions through her very popular Instagram and TikTok accounts at Michelle Van Lee. She's helping us comb through all the summer festivals coming up to figure out which are worth the crowd. It's Thursday, June 15th. I'm Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. Welcome, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Before we go into some lists of places that you've gathered for us, I was wondering what one or two things from your summer bucket list, your personal summer bucket list that you basically do, or you're like, it's not summer until I do these things. It doesn't even have to be Portland based. I'm just curious.
Yeah. So I feel like anything involving water kind of for me means summer. So I like to go kayaking and I like to go to Soapbox and just hang out at the beach. And so I feel like until I go do that, it doesn't really feel like summer's officially begun for me. And then an actual bucket list thing for me this summer, because I've never done it before, is one of the Pedalpalooza rides where they dress up in costume and you see them, going along with the music. I don't know why every year I miss them and then they're over. And so I really love to do that this year.
Yeah, those Pedalpalooza rides bring so much joy. Even if you're not part of it, just them riding by, you're just like, oh, this is so exciting. This is so much fun. And also, the line never ends. You're like, oh, cool, 20 bicycles. Yes. You're like, oh, there's more. Oh, right. There's more.
I know. Yeah, I've definitely been stuck at an intersection where I'm like, wow, people, so many people.
Well, you've conveniently categorized your suggestions into 3 headings: parks, larger festivals, and food. Let's start off with parks. And what do you mean by that, by the way, parks?
So one of the things I love the most in the summer is the Portland Park Summer Free-for-All. And it officially came back last year, and now it's coming back this year. And I think it's even bigger, sort of pre-pandemic size. And basically what it is it's free concerts and free movies all throughout the summer, almost every single night at various parks throughout the city. And it starts on July 8th, and it kicks off with the East Portland Summer Arts Festival, and this is to celebrate Black excellence. That'll be the big kickoff party, and then there are a lot of other events that happen, not just the movies and concerts. So one that I'm looking forward to that was first happened last year is the Tiger, a celebration of the AANHPI community. And so there'll be music, lots of great food. And then another one that I really love is free comedies at Laurelhurst Park every Friday. That starts June 23rd. I did that for the first time last year and I was hooked because free comedy.
Yeah.
So fun.
And just a reminder that series is in part paid by the arts tax. Just a heads up.
Yes, in case anyone's wondering,
where's my arts tax? So go check this out. It's free.
Yes.
Because you've already paid for it.
Yes.
And I have, before we go into my next question, I did 3 things on a Saturday, and I almost died on the Sunday. I was so tired. Are you constantly doing stuff? Do you do more than 3 things in one day, Michelle?
I mean, yes.
Oh my God.
But not always.
How are people doing this? And I don't mean 3 things I woke up, I brushed my teeth, and I ate. I mean you go to 3 events, or you hang out with 3 sets of groups of people, which is what happened. And I the next day, I just was staring into a wall. And I don't know how people do this.
I don't think I could do that either. It's a lot of energy. Occasionally I will go to a few events in one day, but it's kind of just stopping by things too. This past Saturday, I went to the Bloody Mary Festival, and then a little bit later just walked over. Church Bar was having a pickle party. And so it's kind of like a little festival, and you just sort of you're just there for 20, 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to psych myself out for doing more than one thing. Let's talk about the larger festivals. So what larger festivals are on your recommendation list? I know we have a ton.
Yeah. So I feel like the Waterfront Blues Festival is always a good time. That's the first weekend of July, and it ends with the July 4th fireworks on the waterfront. And it's fun. I mean, you get to go hear a bunch of bands out by the water. And one that I personally love that's also quite large is the Cathedral Park Jazz Fest. I love that one because it's free, lots of great musicians. It's in a beautiful park. There's always cool food vendors there, and
Some might say the most beautiful park.
yes, some might say. I definitely think also the most beautiful bridge.
It really is. I feel like that's the guest requirement is you must come on the show and then state out loud that the St. John's is the most beautiful bridge, or else you don't get on. We're just like, no.
Right. That's the hidden password, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those two events are sort of the big ones. I would also say the Mississippi Street Fair is a big one that happens every year. That one, I believe, is July 15th this year. There's also a lot of smaller street fairs, too, that I love to go to. Like, I feel like every neighborhood has one during the summer.
Yeah.
And this year, also a big event, the Portland Pride Parade and Waterfront Festival, that changed from this month in June to July 15th and 16th. So a lot of people don't know that. I've had a lot of people be like, when I'm sharing stuff for the weekend, they're like, what about this? And I'm like, well, it switched this year.
We spoke to the head of Portland Pride Northwest, and they basically said they switched because there's so much stuff happening in June.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a really good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really great reason. Anything else? Like, what's your personal favorite?
Personal favorite is the Portland Adult Soapbox Derby, which is a ton of fun. It happens at Mount Tabor, and I honestly can't describe how creative these cars are. Like last year there was like a Pee Wee Herman one, there was a Monty Python, the Holy Grail. Like I'm always just shocked at how people can create these, and they hold up too. I mean, I have seen a couple of crashes, but for the most part they hold up. And it's just like, it's really fun.
Did you see the cup of noodles?
Yes. Oh, I loved that one.
There was just a whole cup of noodles.
It was a monster. Like it was alive kind of cup of noodles.
It was so cool. Like, who thought of that? It was like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a cup of noodles, but there's gonna be a monster in there. Kind of alienish.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't want to make any promises, but I've been told that I will be participating this soapbox because I have a friend who is a mechanical engineer, and he's really gung-ho. Like he went for the first time, and he just like, I could just see his brain working. And so we're thinking of doing Wayne's World.
Oh, that is a good one.
I mean, hope it all happens. I mean, I'm just like, sort of just like, it's probably not going to happen. But I'm really excited. I keep saying it out loud, so he feels like we have to. Like, you can't just, like, say that and then we don't follow through. Like, we have to do it now.
Well, I hope to see it.
What's your, like, if you had to make a soapbox entry, what would yours be?
Oh, man. I feel like maybe a TARDIS.
Oh, just like a tortoise? Like a
TARDIS, like from Doctor Who?
A TARDIS.
From Doctor Who.
Oh, you mean the, like a telephone booth?
Yeah, but you would have to somehow make it really creative where it's like, because they always say like it's bigger on the inside, you know, like I feel like you would have to get really creative with it to somehow like share the inside of it, since it just opens up to a big ship. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, let's take a quick break here, and when we come back, food festivals. Well, another thing that I know happens in the summer is we have a ton of food festivals.
Yeah.
What are your picks?
So I think a really fun one that's going to be happening this month is the Pride Vegan Night Market. And it's going to be at the Bridge Lot next to OMSI. And I feel like we don't have a lot of food night markets, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, we just have the night market. Like,
yeah, and I remember one year during Feast they had a really fun food night market, and I don't know, I feel like we should have more of those just because it stays light out for so long in the summer and it's just really fun. And then there's also a cider summit that's happening also in June. As we said, June's really busy. So anyone that loves cider, that's going to be at the Red. And then there's a Portland Beer and Cheese Festival happening at Living House, also in June. Yeah, I feel like summer is in June this year. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I've been to a few cheese festivals in Portland, and I feel like they're always really fun because we have so many great like cheese purveyors here, and so that'll be fun. And then the last one that I've actually also really enjoyed, because it's at a really pretty park. It's the Portland Craft Beer Festival, and that's at the Fields Park, and that is at the end of June, early July. And I don't know, I feel like that park's really pretty, and kind of not a lot of events are held, I feel like, in Northwest, that little area.
It's true, yeah. Could I suggest one that isn't in June and July? So
yes,
and it's a night market.
Ooh.
So the J District International Night Market is returning this year on August 19th, and it runs from like 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. So I don't know, guys. If you go out to 82nd, you're going to see, the food's just is going to be amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I went to one many years ago. I'm glad that it's back.
Yeah, and to add to the June bingo card of events,
right,
is the biggest powwow in Portland that happens every year. It's the Delta Park Powwow and Encampment, and it's a celebration of Native American culture. Anyone and everyone is invited. There's like stuff for kids and stuff, and of course fry bread. If you've never had a fry bread taco, I don't know, man. I don't think
you haven't lived.
Yeah, you need to eat a fry bread taco. It's so good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this weekend. Like,
sure.
What would you suggest? If you're like, all right, I'm gonna jump in this weekend. I'm gonna do more than 3 things in a day, even though that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So there is a few Juneteenth celebrations. One is on Friday, and that's going to be at the Red on Salmon. Everyone's welcome, great food, entertainment, and there'll be another one at the Lillis Albina Park Saturday and Sunday. It's a 2-day festival. So those will be really great, really fun. There is a benefit for a dog rescue happening on Saturday at Victoria Bar. It's called the Haute Dog, like Haute. There's going to be a dog fashion show.
Oh my God. That's what you should have led with. You should have led, they're going to be dressing up dogs.
Yes. All those dogs that are participating are going to be adoptable. So if you want a little
such a brilliant idea. This is how all adoption agencies should be working. I know this sounds like a lot of work and slightly exploitive, but please let us do this. I love it. I hope there's music. I hope there's
there will be, yes.
I hope there's like peanut butter in the roof of all the dogs so it looks like they're lip syncing. I want all of it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for like hanging out with us and giving us something to do.
Yeah. Thank you.
And now for your microdose of news. Despite recent layoffs at Intel and other manufacturing companies, Oregon's unemployment rate fell to its lowest number in a year this past May, which is the first time it's been under 4% since last July. And the contractor in charge of coordinating Multnomah County's emergency response has been having a tough time staffing enough paramedics, which has led to an alarming problem. No ambulances were available in the county 10% of the time that dispatchers requested them since last March. For even more local news and events, sign up for our daily newsletter, Hey Portland. We'll throw a link in the show notes. That's all for today here on CityCast Portland. If you enjoyed this show, why not share it with a friend, rate or leave us a review? It all helps us out. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's.